You're talking about phones. I'm going to talk about AI a little bit, how the China, India, and other countries are doing it. And can you put on the side? Yeah. So I'm going to talk about it, Dr. Sirazal, and then you can give me some comment. When I come back, I wanted to ask you a very important question. I eat a lot of rice. And then you worked in the Rice Institute in Manila. I want to know, a lot of people say in Indians and Chinese, we eat a lot of rice. The rice is like if I can't eat rice, I can't even sleep. So you can tell me something about good or bad, both. So let me talk about a little bit about the presentation. After that, you can give me a comment. You can join anytime. Susan, you or Dr. Rizal, both of them can join anytime. This is a entropy, very strange kind of a concept. Is a why entropy limits artificial intelligence. Me and Dr. Rizal is in Silicon Valley. Everybody, Uber driver to kitchen employees, talk about AI here now. So we need to talk about. I presented two parts already. One is emergency plus. It's a black box. It's not a, Susan, you mentioned black box last time. I remember that black box. That's a
Yeah.
different than this black box. This black box is a nature created a black box. You cannot have access to these black boxes. That's because a structural black box that is. So you don't have we don't know what it does inside. We do not with the new tools or new knowledge, it will not give you access. There's nothing you can do about it. The black box is real. That we have to accept it and then move forward. That is a minimize the risk and do that. So a lot of people think black box can be solved through technology and time. Only one black box can be solved. The other three black boxes are emergence and other things that I talked about in the first time. They cannot be solved. That is structurally that is there. So we have to accept and you see in a lot of other fields also the black box problem. Then second one I presented already, irreversibility. Biology, human body is irreversible, right? A biology, if you have Dr. Susan Davis knows, if you do operation or if you do something medicine, you cannot reverse it back. Biology is irreversible. That's why entropy comes in the picture. That's a one-way traffic. You're getting old. You don't get younger. So that is
Speak for
irreversibility is a
yourself.
part of the. Pardon me.
No, no, carry on, carry on. I said
It's a
speak for yourself.
biological process, irreversibility. That's what that is. That. Now I'm going to talk about entropy. These are the limits of AI. Doesn't mean I'm an anti-AI. I'm just telling you that you don't blindly go. AI can solve all the problem magically. That you need to be very careful how you handle that systems, particularly in healthcare. That's what I'm a healthcare guy. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. There's a two kind of entropies. Entropy is a thermodynamics entropy. This I'm just doing a classification here. Thermodynamic entropy is our bodies, our cells fight every day, to lower the entropy. So our body we are naturally goes towards the disorder. Is a order to disorder is a natural progression. So our bodies itself goes to the order to disorder. So life itself fights against the entropy. Make sure that orders remain same. The cells fight, our bodies fight to keep the order. So that is always the nature always pushing towards the disorder. That is the thermodynamic entropy. There is another kind of entropy. That is the information entropy. Ignorance is also keeps in knowledge and ignorance. People think I know everything. That's enough, but yeah, actually that's not I what I know that's not true. What you know is actually ignorance also seeps in. Entropy increases, complexity increases every time. That's a nature itself. So I'm going to talk about entropy of information, how that limits the AI. Physician entropy, doctor's entropy is EHR burden. They have a alert fatigue, a lot of now with the remote patient monitoring, every doctor gets thousands of alerts. That bathroom data that's real. Some of them are real, some of them are nonsense. So they get a lot of this fatigue, this workflow fragmentation. There is a lot of different systems. Interoperability is a bigger problem in healthcare. Documentation, but then decision saturation is all causing a lot of problems for the clinical staff. Susan knows about it. It is really a burnout problem, big problem in healthcare. In the management side, I'm always soft to the management. Also, people try to blame the management. They go through their own problems, regulatory. There is a tremendous laws, too many laws, because regulations, because they don't know. Every time they come up with a new law, the old laws are still there. So they're adding up the laws. The entropy increases. So when you don't have philosophy, only you're adding regulations, that creates a lot of entropy and a lot of disorder. There's a lot of KPIs, healthcare KPIs, overloaded KPIs. It doesn't make, knowledge without a common sense, without a sense. That's what it is. Incentive misalignment, this is a big problem. Then communication silos, Dr. Perel is talking about today, about the communication silos, how the communication is a big problem in healthcare system itself. Is a huge problem between the management and the doctors, among the doctors itself. So they think AI is a permanent, so AI is the great solution. It can solve all the problems. It can decrease the load. But entropy says something different. Entropy says that no, you have to be very careful. You're moving you're reducing the entropy in one area. You're moving to the different area. So if you reduce the volume overload, that's a good before AI. Volume overload, you do that, okay, I did the AI, it reduces my volume. But what it does is it gives you trust and verification overload for the doctors or nurses. They have to worry about whether that information is correct or not. So that you're not reducing the entropy. You're just shifting from one location to other location. Healthcare is notorious for this, in the cost wise, in the burden wise. It is a big problem. So what it end up with, the doctors burnout. It's a non-doctors, nurses, techs, all burnout, because that's one of the effect is burnout is, a lot of people think, decrease performance. I don't even tell, Susan knows more than I do, prone to errors, severe consequences. People can die, if you do wrong mistake. It is not a fatigue is in syndrome that is serious in the healthcare workers. So the problem is, I want to tell you about I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in a second. Healthcare is a higher entropy system. By default, healthcare biology is a very complex system. So complex system is a biology, economics is a complex system. Dr. Rizal can tell about that. Healthcare is another complex system. When it's a complex system, it's a higher entropy. The fragmented workflows, disconnected data systems. I don't know economy, but I can tell you about the healthcare, the regulatory layering, workflow, all kinds of nonsense, so many reimbursement structures. It is a huge mess. So healthcare is a higher entropy system. So that is by default. It is a by default. So AI is a complex system. With the black boxes, with the irreversibility problem, you're adding AI on putting one complex system on the other complex system. What if you have an unstable environment for your healthcare system, it's not a stable one, then what happens? Technology is a force multiplier, amplifier. Higher entropy is amplified variability. It gets the big problem, unstable workflows. It becomes an instability in workflow. Cognitive load increases to the doctors. Alert fatigue, they're going to be missing important information, important data, fragmented data. This is a big problem in healthcare. So higher end AI, one complex system, you're adding to another complex system, it has got to be extremely careful. It's not just but we are mathematicians and physicists, Dr. Economists. We know we deal with the physicists, deal with a complex system every day. Mathematicians, physicists, economists even deal with the complex systems every day. So one of the famous guy, Doctor, is Elwood Shannon. Like Dr. Rizal, famous guy, famous people do. Two famous people up there. Is a living legend here. Dr. Rizal is a Shannon. Dr. Cloud Shannon, Elwood Shannon is a Shannon entropy. He created this disorder. This ignorance can be quantifiable. He gave a formulas for the quantification for the ignorance. And then your disorder can be quantified. You can find out. That's what healthcare needs. Healthcare needs a mathematics of this kind. It needs the measurement of the disorder. That is missing in the information missing in the. That's what the Claude Elwood Shannon did. He's MIT professor. He did that. So, what is a prime directive for healthcare company, healthcare systems? One prime directive: produce care. That's all you need. Your job is to produce care, nothing else. The day you stop producing care, you're no longer a healthcare system. So it is a non-negotiating principle. That's the invariant principle. We have to put that in the system. That healing index got increased. Once you put that in, non-negotiating principle, everything will be different. So I created a system. Actually, I developed a system. It can tell you burnout, who is going to burn out in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We're not going to tell the names of the doctors. That's not real doctors, but we're going to put anonymous data there. But one of the things is what we found out psychology-wise is Dr. Rosal is talking about. The burnout is very strange. It's a phase shift. It's not a gradual. What they found out. It is after a certain time. It's all of a sudden it becomes a real problem. It is not a. It's a gradual accumulation, and at a certain point it becomes a problem. It is not a gradual problem. It is a phase shift problem. So when you get a phase shift is coming up, if you can see the doctor is going to have too many, this is not a surveillance, this is not a HR tool. You need to you need to give us a little bit break to the doctor, or give one more additional nurse to the doctor, or something you have to do. Or a physician, a nurse get more breaks, maybe you get a CNA. All those things need to be done you can get that. Entropy can give you the risk factors. So that is the structural. You cannot replace the doctors and the clinical staff like Dr. Susan. You cannot replace with AI. Entropy has a structural limit on it. It's a mathematical limit. It is not I'm not talking about abstract. Contextual engineers can understand the signal context. There is no signal. Original signal comes from a doctor. Doctors understand the clinical nuance, and the CEOs understand the decision risk. These are all contextual problems. Only humans can do. Judgment variability, for example. AI handles patterns, but human handles judgments and edge cases. If you are 95 years old, you don't need a surgery. That's a human judgment. AI can tell you, you make a surgery. So that is human judgments are very important. Trust is the most important part. Susan talks about trust all the times. Clinical staff and CEOs both care about patient and trust. Doctor may not be the genius doctor. If you go to a doctor, if I give a trust, if I feel him, I trust him, I feel 90% problem solved. I feel that at least. That is the power of the trust. Actually, as is a reproduce operation. So measure the disorder first before you enter the AI. That's what I was telling the companies. Just you need to measure your disorder, where you're at. You get a benchmark first, that how much disorder you have. You can do that. Actually, I created algorithms for that, Medbricks predictor. I'm not promoting my company here, just I'm talking about it. You can go to any company, but Medbricks